would probably be better to think of it as an enormous red rock wall, sheer cliffs towering 10 kilometers over the sea. There is a tunnel through the red line, 10,000 meters below the surface. Oda really seems to like that number. With that, you know the basics of the blue sea, so that must be everything. Although it is kind of weird to name the only body of water that covers the entire planet the blue sea. I mean, it's just the ocean, right? I guess I'll put a spoiler warning here for Skypeia, but the name of the art kinda spoils it already. Well, since we could go down, why not try looking up? Yes, if you can have islands on the bottom of the ocean, why not also have islands in the sky? And if the blue water forms the blue sea, then the white clouds will logically form the white sea, 7,000 meters above the blue sea. I bet you thought it was going to be 10,000 meters, huh? Nope, that's the white sea, which you get to from the white sea via Heaven's Gate, taxied by a speedy shrimp. You know, the standard stuff. The reason I put this behind a minor spoiler warning is that it is apparently not common knowledge on the blue sea that sky islands actually do exist, rather being talked about as myths like El Dorado or Atlantis in our world. But how do you get up there anyways? Well, the normal way is apparently a place called the Peak of High West, but the Straw Hats tend to be a little unconventional and instead use the Knockup Stream, which is basically a big old geyser that occasionally lines up with the Imperial Cumulus or Cumuloregalis that holds the White Sea. The main sky island we see is Skypeia, populated by the winged but flightless Skypeians, and made up of primarily two kinds of clouds, although there is an entire cloud article on the wiki with all sorts of fancy clouds. The two types that are important here are the sea clouds and the island clouds. In my video on devil fruits and a couple of other videos, I mentioned Kairoseki, or sea prism stone. During some volcanic eruptions, a compound in Kairoseki known as pyrobrine will be ejected as either tiny particulates like dust or perhaps even vaporized. In either case, it then combines with water vapor or droplets in the air to form these much more substantial clouds that behave much like water or solid ground depending on the density. Although the sea clouds are a bit less dense than regular water and the island clouds are much more springy than solid ground. We do also learn that there are several other sky islands, but the only ones we see are the ruined balloon terminal where all of the lost healing balloons end up and keep it afloat, and the artificial sky island Weatheria where a bunch of old weather wizards research weather science. Now I'm going to stick an actual spoiler warning for the rest of Skypeia here that will last until the end of this section, so you can just skip ahead if you don't want spoilers. There was actually another major sky civilization at one point in time, fairly recently, known as Birka. But one Birkan named Eneru obtained the lightning logia and developed a god complex, destroyed Birka, and took over as god of Skypeia. God here being the title of the ruler of the heavenly Skypeia rather than being an actual god, although he did see himself as a god with his lightning powers and very powerful mantra, or observation hockey. Boom, hockey video. So what motivation is there to rule over Skypeia anyways? Well, despite being ground-like, not much can grow on island clouds, so they traditionally relied on the little bits of earth, which they call Vearth, that made it to the sky via eruptions or other means to support plant life. Well, a while back, half of the island of Jaya was blown into the sky by the Knockup Stream, carrying the terrestrial winged folk, the Shandians, and their city of gold, landing near Skypeia and becoming the Holy Land of Upper Yard. We later learned that Eneru doesn't actually care about the Vearth of Upper Yard, instead wanting the gold for its electrical properties, as his sights were even higher. Literally. Why would you want a relatively small chunk of dirt? Why would you want to go down to the blue sea where there's hardly any Vearth either? He wanted a place that is endless Vearth, read as fairy Vearth, so you'll probably see it as both. What's higher than the sky and is just Vearth as far as the eye can see? That's right, the moon. The rest of this is exclusive to the manga since it's only been mentioned in a cover series, and as you may know, cover series are canon, but they rarely bother to animate them, especially not until it becomes directly relative to the story again. Now, how does he plan to build his spaceship? He doesn't. Instead, he built an airship. Yep, the moon is still in the planet's atmosphere. You can even make it there with a healing balloon if you're small enough. You might think the moon would be boring, but no, there are actually space pirates and even ruins of an ancient city. Ruins of an extremely technologically advanced ancient city. Ruins of an extremely technologically advanced ancient city whose residents fled to the blue planet where some of them settled in the sky as Skypeians and Birkans, and a third group made it all the way down to the blue sea as the Shandians, before being ejected back up to the sky, as I mentioned previously. It really is poetic that these three civilizations were once a single, unified civilization that was split up when it went in search of resources, before eventually going to war over some resources in a third location, before finally coming together as a single civilization once again.